All right, good Tvach, good Shavua Tov, good week. Welcome to Daf Yomi Maseches Yevamos, Daf Yutet number 19. We have an unbelievable shir for you tonight. It's a very complicated shir. Uh, maybe until now one of the most complicated dapim in Maseches Yevamos. So if you're not in the mood to think right now, just remember this is why I call it just Daf It, right? Like just do it. You know, you listen, you get some, you get a little bit, you take what you get. That's it. You think anyone who learns the Daf Yomi really understands everything 100% clearly and retains everything 100% or even 1%? No, that's not the truth. Even any Daf Yomi shir that explains it 100% clearly, which I do, most people don't get it that clearly, even if it's Maseches Megillah. That's called just Daf It. Just be part of the program. You're learning Torah. You hear me talking. You hear the very Torah. You get some, you win some, you lose some. It's being part of the program. It's the entertainment value. This is why I put it on YouTube. I believe that Daf Yomi Shir can be entertaining. It's part of my channel because it is entertaining. I make it entertaining. The Gemara can be entertaining if you interpret it the right way to be entertaining and you make it fun. Uh, if you make it too serious, then it's going to be depressing and sad, and you'll be trying to remember every little word, and you're going to be getting nowhere in life because you got to enjoy life. That's what God wants. God wants us to enjoy life. And I'm very proud to say that this Shabbos, I have come upon a new discovery. I've been experimenting a little bit with different spirits. I bought some cognac, as I showed you on Friday, to add to my liquor collection. And I experimented with a little shop over Shabbos. I never tasted brandy or cognac. It tastes pretty much like a scotch or a whiskey, if you can tell the difference in scotch or whiskey. I think you, I don't know. I don't know people that can tell the difference. I mean, maybe there are people that can. Um, Maybe it's a little smoother, a little rougher down. I don't know, alcoholic. But I want to say I invented the reason I buy these spirits is not just to drink them neat or drink them pure. I buy them to mix. I love mixing drinks. One day I want to be a bartender. I am a bartender right now, and to add a brandy, especially cognac, to my collection is a nice addition. Hopefully, I'll be getting a gin soon. Tequila, rum, these things, triple sec, vermouth, I think it's called. There's a couple of basics that you need for a good bar. Maybe some lime juice. I don't know. A lot of drinks called for lime juice. I have to get these things, but I'm slowly building up. But I experimented, and I actually created my first cocktail, a new cocktail. I don't know if the IBA, the International Bar Association, that again has nothing to do with getting a law degree. Bar associations, bartenders, experimented a little bit, and I think this could become a staple. A cocktail could actually become uh, the new thing that Klal makes kiddush on. Can you believe it? How about this one? Kedem grape juice. Kedem grape. If you're a Jew and you don't have Kedem grape juice, you have not tasted Judaism, not tasted life. I believe, without anything added, I believe Kedem grape juice. I don't believe. I enjoy Kedem grape juice more than any other drink by itself. I believe Kedem grape juice is the best beverage there is in the world. My favorite beverage, even more than chocolate milk. Chocolate milk is number two. Kedem grape juice is a number one. Do you believe it? But you could even make your Kedem grape juice even better if you put in some cognac. Kedem grape juice, 4 parts Kedem grape juice, 1 part cognac. I believe this is the new cocktail, especially a Jewish cocktail. I originally named it the Benzi, but it sounds too Hamish, to make it official. So I call it Gan Eden because this isn't the Torah. Mikedem legan Eden, right? Mikedem is mentioned in the Torah. Kedem grape juice. Mikedem legan Eden from Kedem, most of Kedem, a little cognac. You get Gan Eden. It's the new drink, the Gan Eden. 4 parts Kedem grape juice, 1 part cognac. Mix it up a little bit. Make kiddush on it. You'll be delighted. I tried and a couple people this Shabbos. I want you to hear what you have to say about it first. So try it. Tell me how it goes. This is definitely not an official drink. I don't believe there's any cocktail that actually uses canned grape juice. There should be. It's an unbelievable beverage, and this is going to be the start of something big. This is not my first cocktail. This is not going to be my last cocktail. It is my first cocktail that I created. It's not going to be the last. All right, let's get into it. Yevamos Beis towards the bottom. The Gemara says, when we're trying to figure out, according to Rabbi Shimon, whether he holds Zika. Zika means when a Yevamo falls to a Yavam, and he hasn't done Yibum yet, right? Before he decides whether he wants to do Yibum or Chalitza, he has Zika, connection to her. There's some sort of bond over there. He has to release that bond either by marrying her, Yibum, or by diffusing that connection, by doing Chalitza, and removing the relationship between the two. So is Zika called Keknusa? It's like she's married already, or not Keknusa? So the Gemara, towards the bottom, Yevamos Beis, wants to reject the notion that Rabbi Shimon holds Zika as Keknusa Dami. Rabbi Shimon holds Zika as Keknusa Dami. This is not Mahi. The Gemara says, Maskal Rabbi Yosef, Hasha Zika Maimer Masafel Rabbi Shimon Keknusa Dami. He holds when you have Zika and Maimer. Maimer is again when you have the Zika and then you do a Kedusha. You don't do the Yibum, you give her some money before you actually do the Biyah. That he's not sure is Keknusa Dami law. Zika Lechuda Mibai. For sure he holds Zika by itself is not considered Keknusa. Mahi. Where do we find this case of Maimer and Zika? The Snan. The Mishnah says later on in the Masechta, Shlosha Achim, Shnesu and Shalosh Nashim Nachrios. 3 brothers are married to 3 wives. They all live contemporary brothers. The 3 women are not related at all in any way to each other. One brother dies. So Basheni Maimer. Now the second brother does Maimer. He does his half kibum, a little kedushin. Mace, and then he dies. So now Levi, the third brother, he has 2 wives. He has Reuven's original wife and Shimon's original wife. And Shimon's original wife is sort of connected to Reuven's original wife because Shimon did Maimer on Reuven's original wife. So these 2 ladies have to do both, require chalitza, and you can't do Yibam. Tanakama holds this person has connection to 2 Yavams, right? 2 houses. She was connected to Reuven, meaning the lady who fell, who wrote Reuven's original wife, that Shimon did Maimer on, so she's connected both to Reuven and to Shimon, because Shimon, she was originally Reuven's wife, and also she was Shimon's wife partially because he did Kedushin, he didn't actually do Yibum. So therefore, you do chalitza and not yibum because you can't do yibum. Rabbi Shimon Omer miyabne izman sheyirtze v'chalitza shniya. He says an interesting shita. Rabbi Shimon says you could choose. You could do yibum on one of them, anyone you want, and do chalitza on the second one. Why? Let's explain what Rabbi Shimon's thinking is. Yibum itarvayu lo. You can't do yibum to both of them. The dilma yesh zika. You can't do because maybe there is zika. Maybe the mimer, right? We're going to see according to Rishon with the mimer. It's not the zika. The mimer is what connects to them. Yesh zika. So therefore, if there is zika, the havu shnei yevamos habos mibayis echad. If there is zika, so then the Reuven's original wife becomes Shimon's wife when he does mimer too. So he has 2 wives. So really now Levi has 2 wives with Shimon. So you can't do Yibum when your brother dies and he has 2 wives. You only do Yibum or Chalitza to one of them and it patters the other one. So if they're both Shimon's wife, there is Zika. They're both Shimon's wives. And Shnei Yevamos Habos Mibayis Echad. Top of your Tam and Aleph. So therefore you can't do Yibum both of them. Yevum Echad, if they're Idach, just do Yibum to one and let it patter the one, do nothing to the other one. Lo, the Dilma ain't Zika. Knusa. Maybe Zika is not like Knusa. Maybe the mimer that he did is really worthless. And therefore, he has Reuven's wife falling to him, Levi has Reuven's wife falling to him, and Shimon's wife falling to him. Now, when that you could do 2 Yibums. It's 2 different brothers, so there's 2 different wives coming from 2 different houses. So you technically do Yibums. Just do Yibum on one, it wouldn't patter the second one. You have to do either Yibum or Chalitza on the second one. Alma Misafkale. So you see, he holds that Maimer is Misafkale. So you see, even by Maimer, even when it's Zika and Maimer together, that's already a suffix for Rabbi Shimon. Certainly wouldn't say for sure that Zika itself, without Maimer, is Kiknusa Dami. It's like he's already married to her. Maybe he'll tell me that really he holds Zika. Midaraisa, Rabbi Shimon would agree that Zika and Maimer, we have to admit, at least with Maimer, would be Kiknusa Dami. And therefore, it would be like two wives of Shimon, and you could do even to one, it would pater the other. It's only Exira the Rabbanon because some people say it's not like Kiknusa Damya, and then it would be like two Yevamos coming from two different houses. They'll say, how could you do Yibam to one and the other one gets patered? You have to do either Yibam to Chalitza to the second one also. Time of the Rishimon, Mishum Maimer, of a lot of Maimer, but we know that the reason Rav Shimon is because he's Misapik, whether Maimer is Keknus or Maimer is not. Desanya, I don't have Rav Shimon, Maimer Shal Sheni, Maimer, Aish is Sheni Hu Boel. If Shimon's Maimer is a good Maimer, so then it's Shimon's wife. The Maimer Shal Sheni, ain't no Maimer, it's not Maimer, Aish is Rishon Bo. It's not worth anything, it's Ruvain's wife. So you see, it depends on whether he's Mistapik, he's not sure whether Maimer is Keknus Adamya. Abaye said, how do you compare our cases? This Mishnah is talking about we have two brothers, right? When Reuven dies, he has Shimon and Levi still alive. So the Zika between this wife of Reuven is potentially up to to be split between two brothers. So there we'd say maybe Zika, even if Shimon Moda Zika is not Keknus Adamya. Because you can't marry, one woman can't be married to two men. But when there's only one Yavam, that maybe he would agree. Zika is Keknusa Damya. Dilma Kiyamar Rabbi Shimon Zika Keknusa Damya. Amar Bible Shanach Zika Yavam Echad Shay Zika Dilma Kiyamar Rabbi Shimon Zika Keknusa Damya. Biyavam Echad. Abba B'Shnei Yivmin Lo. He would agree. This mission is about two Yavam, and so there was no Zika is not Keknusa Damya. We showing that the Rishimon, but is. Whereas challenges that are we going to say according to Rishon, Tanya Kalmar Rishon, Kol Shaleda Kodemus and Nesu and Locholeses, Velomis Yabemis, Nesu and Kodemin, Laleda Ocholeses Omis Yabemis. Again, this is talking about a case of Eishes Achav Shaloya Bolamo. Again, we're going to redefine Reb Shimon's position about this. So, if again, three brothers, Reuven, Shimon, and Levi, right? So, Reuven and Shimon were contemporary brothers. Reuven died. So if the Leda, if Levi's birth came before Shimon married Reuven's wife in Yibum, lo choletzes v'lo misyabemes. So then Rabbi Shimon says, you don't have to do chalitza or Yibum, because Rabbi Shimon holds that we're going to see that he holds that he does hold Eish Zaka Shalaya Ba'olam. He agrees in this case it would be Eish Zaka because he was born, Levi was born in a situation where the wife of Reuven was still considered the wife of Reuven. She wasn't yet the wife of Shimon. But if she got married to Shimon before Levi was born, so when Levi was born, he was born in a situation where she was Shimon's wife, not Reuven's wife, so it wasn't considered Eish Zaka Shalaya Ba'olam. She could do Chalitza Yiva. My love Yavam Echad. Aren't we talking about a case of Yavam Echad? Meaning Shimon was the one brother where there was a Zika. And we see that what? We see that even though he's only one Yavam, it's considered Lochaletzes. It's considered to be Eish Zaka Shalav. It's not considered connected to Shimon at all. So the Gemara deflects it. No, Lo B'Shnei Yivamin. So no, really, Gemara could be talking about where there's four brothers. It's Reuven, Shimon, and Levi, and Yehuda. Yehuda is the fourth brother. Shimon and Levi were contemporary brothers of Reuven. So the Gemara challenges it. If it's true that with Balin Yavam, then the Zika wouldn't effectuate even if she wasn't married to Shimon. It would be like she's married to Shimon before, and then Levi's born in a situation where she's already married to Shimon. Instead of saying the case where he got married to her before Levi was born, in which case she's the wife of Shimon, you can do a regular case of Chalitza Yibam. It's only talking, our case is only talking about two Yavamim. If it's one Yavam, then it doesn't make a difference whether the Nesuin is called him later and the later is called him Nesuin. Once you have the Zika, even though she's not married to Shimon, it's like she's married to Shimon. So the more answer is Kula b'Shnei Yevamim Kamayri. It could have really said that, but we're just talking about it. It happened to be talking about a case of Shnei Yevamim. So the Gemara challenges, well, my klala. Why does it say klala? Klala is like a general rule, no matter what the case. But Ode, Meser Rashai. Rashai challenges further. Shnei from a brisa. Gimel Achem. 3 brothers. Shnei mehem nesuin Shnei Achayos. O Isha Obita. O Isha Bas Bita. O Isha Bas Bina. Now we're going to see these are 4 different cases, but it's the same idea in all the cases. You have 3 brothers. 2 of them are married to sisters, or 2 of them are married to a daughter and her mother, or a daughter and her grandmother. Those are the last 2 cases, a daughter and a grandmother. Harei Elu Choltos, again, you can't be married to a daughter and a grandmother and a daughter and a mother. So it's an erva, just like 2 sisters. Harei Elu Choltos v'lo Yevamos. So, in this case, where you have the 3rd brother, eventually the first 2 brothers who are married to the 2 sisters or to the daughter and the mother are going to die. And Levi is going to be confronted with 2 women that are an erva to each other. They can't be married to both 2 sisters. You can't do Yom Kippur 2 sisters. There's an erva, or a mother and a sister, a mother and her daughter, or a mother and a granddaughter. So therefore you do chalitza. Rishon Poter, Rishon says you don't do anything. He says you're Poter. If Rishon holds the Zika is like you're married, but the Poter idach, right? When the first, right? Again, you have 2 brothers, Reuven and Shimon. They're all contemporary brothers. Reuven and Shimon. Reuven, his wife dies. He's married to 1 sister. So now Levi has this opportunity. If Zika is keknusa damya, so he has the Zika on him with the wife of Reuven. So therefore, it's like he's married to the first sister already. So he can do Yibam with her. He's already married to her. And the other one is an erva. So she's Pater. She's an erva of Shimon. When Shimon dies, that happens after Reuven died. So Shimon's wife is an erva to already, quote unquote, the married woman, Knusa, or Zika, Knusa Damya of Levi. So she be Pater, which is an erva, like the first Mishnah. So it should be. So if Zika, if Shimon Zika Knusa Damya, we don't have a problem. Amar Amra, my poter nami poter b'shniya. He says, yeah, Rabbi Shimon agrees that he could marry 1 sister, and the second one is poter. At time Shimon poter b'shnei, the right says Shimon poters both wives. Amar Rava deflects the challenge. Shniya shebezug zeh, ve'ashniya shebezug zeh. So Rava assumes that actually wants to say that the case is not that Reuven and Shimon are married to 2 sisters. He's married to 2 sisters. He has 2 wives. Reuven and Shimon have 2 wives. They're married to sisters, and they're also married to a daughter and her mother. So it's 4 women that fall into Levi. So he paters shniya shebezugdeh. Shniya shebezugdeh. So Rava says he paters the last 2, meaning the mother and the sister he can marry, but the daughter and the other sister he can't marry. It's an erva. So the Gemara says, Katai Rava made a mistake. Barbazugi Chada, Barbazugi, he made a mistake that we're talking about 4 pairs. Chada, first mistake, the OO Kasani. It says in the Brisa, 4 different cases, not case where you married the 4 or 2 different wives. Rabbi Shimon Poter Barbasami Baile. If it was really a case where it was and not or, so then he married to a sister, Reuven and Shimon will matter. A sister, a daughter, a granddaughter, and a sister, a mother, a grandmother, and a grandmother. That was all 4 cases. So that's what it should have said. Oh, Tanya, Rishon, furthermore, a different price. Rishon Poter b'shteim, and Achlis going to Yibam. He paters both of them. Achlis Yibam. Shneimar v'isha achos letzikach letzor v'shash nasu sara zul zul yehechad l'kuchin afilu ba'achas man. He interprets this pasuk. Interesting. This pasuk is talking about you can't marry sisters. It's not talking about Yibam. He interprets the pasuk as referring to Yibam. He says you can't marry sisters when they become Sarah Zulazu, meaning when they both fall to Levi and Yibam and they're sisters. So therefore, it's Pater B'Nachlisam and a Yibam. Interesting, this pasuk really tells you can't marry sisters. If this pasuk on talking about Yibam, according to Shimon, maybe you can marry sisters. Normal case. All right, whatever. We'll leave that now. So you see, he clearly is talking about sisters, not talking about married to pairs. Ella Amar Ravashi, Eden Awful You're right. If Rabbi Shimon really does hold Zika as Kimus Adami, But Hagam Maskin is enough of a Basachas. Really, both Reuven and Shimon died at the same time, exact same moment. So therefore, their wives or sisters came Nephila to Levi. They came in Nephila to Levi at the exact same time. So therefore, they can't make it. It's not that he had, even in Zuka Knusa Dami, he wouldn't have the precedence of one being Knusa Dami. They would both at the same time, and they both their rayas to the potter. I mean, Achalisam and Yibum. He says you could say after the time we could assume exactly it's possible something to happen exactly at the same time. Halachically, Rav Papa argues on this whole what have we been saying until now. He's saying an unbelievable chiddush in Rabbi Shimon over here. We're redirecting our thoughts about what Rabbi Shimon really held. He's saying Rabbi Shimon only says what he says, that he holds there's no eish zachar shalom yalamo in our two mishnayos in our parak. In the case of Yibim Machagach Nolad, Polik. He only argues if Shimon, again, non-contemporary brothers, Reuven and Shimon are contemporary, and Shimon marries Reuven's wife, and then Levi is born, then Polik Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon agrees that's not considered Eish Zachar Shalei Balamo, and you're allowed to marry, Levi's allowed to marry Shimon's wife. Again, this is going to be the Iyam Ben Sion. We're going to explain furthermore what Shimon's Shita is, just to furthermore explain yesterday's Iyam Ben Sion. But he doesn't argue of Yibim meaning if Levi is born and then Shimon hasn't yet married Reuven's wife, so therefore she's considered Eishes Echav Shalaya Balamo Klape Shim Levi. And even Rabbi Shimon Moda should be Aser. But Tarvayil Rabbanan Itzrich. And so, back to the original question: why do you have two Mishnayos? Why do you say two cases? And it's needed according to both Mishnayos according to Rabbanan. Below Zuav Zukasani. It's saying it's sometimes the Mishnayos say something you don't have to say. It's just building up the Chiddush. So the first Mishnah is not really a Chiddush according to Rabbanan. The second Mishnah is a Chiddush where Rabbanan and Rav Shimon argue. We have a brisa to support Rav Papa. And it's a disproof to Rabbi Yoshaya. Two brothers who live together. Below Vlad, and one of them dies. The second brother tries to. We're going to see what it means. He attempts to do Maimer with his Yevamos. Below his pick, classes by Maimer, he didn't actually do it. He didn't do it the right way. And then Levi is born, a third brother, and then Shimon dies. The first lady, who was Reuven's original wife, she's called and the second lady, we'll see why, she could do either Chalitza or Yibam. Also by Maimer, if Shimon did Maimer, he did a half Yibam, he was Makadish, or Levi's born, or his brother was born and then he did Maimer. Again, Rav Shimon is going to be every moda in this case that it's considered Eish Zachar Shalei Balam. The second one does Chalitza not Yibam because of that Maimer that was effectuated. On top of Yud Teman base. This is Yud Teman Aleph has 6 pages in our scroll to explain it. Interesting. Shimon Omer Biyasa Chalitza Shal Achas Ben Potera Sarasa. Shimon argues on the Tanakama. He says if you do Bia, you do Yibam or Chalitza with one of them, specific one of them, so then it's Pater's the Sarah. Chalitza the Balas Maimar, if he did Chalitza to the second wife, the Reuben's original wife, Lo Niftara Sarah. So then the Sarah, meaning Shimon's original wife, Shimon's main wife, is not Pater. Kansa Omes, let's say Shimon actually married her, Omes, and he died. And then Levi was born. Or a brother was born to him, Levi was born, and then Shimon married her, and then he died. They're both part of Chalitza min Yibam. Kanta v'nod loach. Again, this brisa continues. Kanta v'nod loach. If Shimon married Reuven's wife, and then a brother was born, achach meis, and then Shimon died. Shteim turas min Chalitza min Yibam. Divrei Meir. Now, until basically we've been talking only in the Shita of Meir. It's like the Tanakama who holds, not like Rav Shimon, that Eish Zachar Shalei Balam always applies. Rav Shimon Omer Hoil Baal Matzah Beheter. If the case is, we're going to see, when he married her, Shimon married Reuven's wife before Levi was born, she was never ushered to him. So therefore, Rabbi Shimon would hold, you can do Chalitza or Yibam to anyone you want, and it patters a Sarah, because it's both Shimon's, like Shimon's two wives, and he's a contemporary brother of yours. So the Gemara says, Hababa the Seifa Lamanka, in this case of the Seifa, we're talking about that she was Conius her before Levi was born. Shimon married her. Ilay Malay Meir Kasani Leif is for a Meir Mithti. Lo Shani Levi Meir Ben Yivim Akanola Ben Nola Akagibim. The Arvidu listener who you can say them together. You don't have to say two separate cases whether Levi was born before Shimon married her or Levi was born after Shimon married her. It wouldn't make a difference according to the Rebbe Meir or the Tanakama. The Rabbanan hold. We know from the Mishnah. It's Rabbanan hold. It's always Eish Zach Shalei Abolamo. Elav Lord Shimon. Ubiyim Akak Nolad Polik. Benolad Ak even low Polik. Must be. Shimon only argues on the Rabbanan in a case where Shimon marries the wife before Levi is born, and therefore it's like two wives of Shimon, which is a contemporary brother. Shema Mina. So the Gemara has proven, like Rav Papa, and disproven what we've assumed yesterday, that Shimon really argues he only argues in one case, and that's the case where she was married to Shimon before Levi was born, the Yevamos. I'm going to dissect this Bryce a little more. The second husband, Shimon, wanted to do Maimer. Until Levi is born, and then he dies, and he didn't do Maimer. The first one, which is Eishes Ruvain, she's considered Eish Zach Hashalei Balamo for Levi. The second one does Chalitzer Yibam. She's Shimon's wife. He could do Chalitzer Yibam. My Amadu, my law. What does that mean? He stood up and he didn't successfully do it. He avad avad. If he did, he did. If he love avad, say he didn't do it. Did he do it or not? He intentionally originally tried to do Maimer. She had his askama. She wanted to do it. She wanted to accept the kiddush and the money from him. And then she reneged on it. She didn't want to accept. She decided she doesn't want to do it. He went away and did it anyway against her will. The local Rebbe, not like Rebbe. The Tanya, Rebbe Omar Kana. Rebbe holds, just like you do Yibam, we're going to learn Yibam, you can do Bia with a woman forcibly. You could rape her, and it would effectuate a good Yibam. Rebbe Omer Kana. What about Maimer? So Rebbe says the Maimer works even if it's against her will. It does not come out. So the Gemara digresses and discusses machlokas. My time with the Rebbe. What's Rebbe's reasoning? The Gemara Bia the Yevama, Ma Bia the Yevama. Just like if you want to effectuate Bia with the Yevama Bal Karcha and it works. Af Kiddushin the Yevama Bal Karcha. The Kiddushin the Maimer would also be Bal Karcha would work. Rabbanan Gemiri the Kiddushin the Alma. They learn from Kiddushin. We'll learn eventually Masachas Kiddushin. Ma Kiddushin the Alma Midaita. The Gemara says in Kiddushin the Beis. She has to agree to it. So that for me, Maimer, which is like the Kiddushin of Yibam, has to be with her will, with her consent. What's the machlokas Rebbe and the Rabbanan? It's better to learn things of Yibam from things of Yibam. The Rabbanan say it's better to learn Kiddushin. Maimer is a type of Kiddushin. Now we continue with the Brisa. Also, Maimer, he did Maimer, Shimon, and then Levi is born. Or the other case where Levi is born and then he does Maimer. That's the Seifa. So again, it's not Maimer is not like a fully effectual Yibum, so therefore it's considered Eish Zach Shalei B'Olamo. The second one, does Chalitza not Yibum? Shimon says if you do Chalitza or Bia with one of them, it patters the other one. Shimon Ahayakai. What case is Shimon talking about? If it's the first case where the brother is born, Maimer, the second case where the brother is born, Levi is born, and then he does Maimer with Ruvain's wife. We said before that if he's Nolad and then Maimer, you do Maimer afterwards, even if his Konis are afterward, he would consider that Eish Zach Shalei B'Olamo. Must be talking about where he does the half Yibum, he does the Kiddushin, and then the brother is born. Chalitz the Baimas Maimer, if he does Chalitza to the Maimer, to the woman who did the Maimer, who Shimon did the Maimer to, Loat Lo Nifter Sarah. The Sarah, why isn't she potter? My time is to have a Sarah Vadai Ubalis Maimer Safek. The Maimer is a Safek. We said according to Rabbi Shimon, it's a Safek whether Maimer effectuates a complete Yibum or it effectuates nothing. So it's worth nothing. So therefore it's a Safek. So the Sarah is Vadai Ubalis Maimer Safek. The Sarah for sure falls. Shimon's original wife for sure falls to Levi. Ruvain's for sure, we're not sure if she's considered to be Eish Zach Shalei B'Olamo, which is an Ereva or not. Since she's a Safek, so therefore the Safek, her Chalitza can't pater the Vadai is the Shimon's original wife, which for sure is a case of Yibam, so therefore you can't be Cholitz her when pater the other one. Okay, that's the end of the share for today. I finished under 30 minutes. That is unbelievable. It's a record. Can you believe this? hard daf like this, we finish under 30 minutes and 5 minutes tangential, you can't tap his share.